I want to make a music video, but I have no money. This was the dilemma that me and my friends faced. Today, I'm going to tell you how we overcame it. First, let's start with a little bit of background. These are the lads. They are friends that I acquired through kindergarten into high school and into college. Some of them I've known longer than my own siblings, which is really weird to think about. They are a collection of 30 of my closest friends that do, well, dumb shit together. Every year, we make a video recapping the entire year that we call the Lads video. I hear people say all the time that they would pay money to watch their friends' best moments throughout the years, and well, we do exactly that. See, I video edit for a living, and I guess you can call me a professional now or something like that. My other friends are video editing hobbyists that use this as an opportunity to get creative and learn skills in the filmmaking world. The production value every year has gone up. To put it a little bit into perspective, the first year's was done in 2019 on my shitty laptop when I came home from Christmas break from college. The entire project was 11 minutes long. I made it in probably 24 hours. This year was year 6, and it was 2 hours and 10 minutes long. It took about 3 months to make this entire project. Throughout that 3-month time, the other editors and I shoot ideas back and forth, trying to figure out what's gonna be the funniest, most sentimental, what's gonna be the most emotional, what's gonna hit the hardest, you know? One of the crazy ideas that we had was to make an anthem for us to sing while we party, game, do whatever, and other nefarious activities. I digress. Luckily, we knew someone who we could harass for this song. My brother. His name is Bardlo. And shameless plug here, the dude makes bangers, okay? He has an album coming out in May when you should definitely go and check him out. See, if we're making a song for the lads, we need something we can sing along to. Pop punk is the bread and butter for the lads. The only problem was, Bardlo is a rapper, and he does really fast rap.
I'm about to show my power like I'm an animal. Identical, chemical, and never do it, never know. Another wonder why I put the people on a pedestal, cause I can see a lot of people trying to get ahead of them. I never want to.
Like, really fast. So, how did we do it? Well, we let him cook. That was really about it. We just said, here, we need you to do this, and here we are. And oh, did he cook. In November of 2023, we gave him a final deadline of January 15th. And this man delivered. Since his part was done, now it was time for the lads production team to hold up their end of the bargain. It's time to plan a music video. Our first meeting was to figure out what we wanted to do. We watched hours and hours of pop punk music videos, ranging from Falling in Reverse to Day to Remember, My Chemical Romance, Blink 182, any pop punk band that you can think of right now, Sum 41, we did it. Over time, we realized that these videos have one thing in common. They're fucking weird. They are random and zany and all over the place, and you don't know what's going on, but you know that it brings you nostalgia when you watch them. So if we wanted that classic pop punk feel, we gotta get weird. So we hired an alien for 20 bucks. We made an outline and a storyboard, if you can call it that. Eric, your drawing skills are impeccable and I love you. And we were on our way to step 2, planning the shots. Jesus Christ. Don't make a long script, guys. This is a lot of work. This was my first attempt at making a music video, so I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. But with the lads, that's kind of part of the charm. However, my friends get off track quite a bit for countless different reasons. And so, to keep us on track, we made a shot list. And my God, did that save us. Who would have thought that planning stuff out actually would make shoot day easier? We had the song playing throughout the shot for syncing purposes in post. You can actually see the speaker in this shot right here. And when I tell you we had a lot, there was a lot. We thought we were gonna hate this song by the end of it. We had almost 15 or 16 A-roll shots, which means that we went through the song 15 or 16 times in one place. But you can never have enough, because when I brought all this back in, even though I had 15 or 16 A-roll shots, I still wanted more different angles and variety. So even if you think that you have enough A-roll, you don't. From there, that's when we started to plan the creative shots, and that's where you really get to tell a story. Frankly, the story we made didn't make sense, but it made sense to us, and that's what mattered. We kind of wanted it not to make sense. We had 77 shots planned by the end of this. We also had 4 different locations planned to keep it fresh and new. Since we were making this for our friends, we wanted to use locations that they were familiar with, so it was like little Easter eggs throughout. Now it's time for shoot day. I'll break down some of the more creative shots as we go through. Let me tell you, we were in for a long day. We got up and headed to location 1 at around 10 a.m. This was for the B-story shots, so we drove out to like the middle of nowhere. We kept having to wait for cars to drive by on this like one-way dirt road, but it was secluded enough to kind of do whatever we want. But if a car drove by and saw an alien in the middle of the street and decided to call the cops, I wouldn't have put it past them. We've gotten the cops called on us for less, but it was all around a fun shoot. Oh, and I forgot to say this earlier, but I actually shot this music video on my Sony ZV-E10, the camera you're actually looking at right now. It's an $800-ish mirrorless camera. That's pretty nice for the price. It's a great entry-level camera. It shoots 4K at 24 FPS and then 1080p at 120 FPS. So all of the slow motion shots were all shot in 1080p, but I was able to shoot 4K for all of like the regular singing fun stuff. It's not the greatest camera in the world, but it's great for people balling on a budget. I also used 2 lenses for this video, and that was the Sigma 1.4 16mm and the Sony FE 50mm 1.8 final answer. They're both fairly cheap lenses and they worked fine for what we were doing. Shooting on a budget means you kind of have to be the king of working with what you have. And for me, this is just stuff I've acquired over the years in hopes of getting better stuff down in the future. I will say that the stabilization on the ZV-E10 is pretty bad without using their active stabilization, but also their active stabilization is pretty bad. So I had a Ronin SC gimbal laying around, and that ended up being pretty good for what I wanted to do. Anytime I wasn't shooting on the gimbal, the shots were just too shaky to use. So I mainly stuck with those unless I was doing slow motion.
There's probably something good in there.
The first location was just the B story, so it was quick. We got what we needed and we left. We moved on to location 2, and that's where the real work began. We had Bardlo run through the song like 10 different times, all from different angles. So we have a low angle, we have a high angle, we have a couple of me just holding a gimbal, and also just some more creative shots. For the high shot, we just opened the garage and put a tripod on top of it and angled it down, and it looked pretty cool having that high of a shot. For the big speed ramp, it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted, but I just thought it was funny how he filmed it. We wanted it to be stable, so we put it on the gimbal, but we basically had him walk up, stick his arms out, and I was on a one wheel, and I rode all the way back to the end of the street to get a whole view of the house, and so we did a big speed ramp.
Turn this bitch around.
I might need to fill the tires of stuff. Okay, so gently, like lean back into your back foot. Like just slowly.
I know how to stop. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to turn.
Oh.
Eat shit.
Camera's gonna break.
Yeah, this tire's like flat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Still wasn't as stable as I wanted, so it looked really shaky, but you live and you learn. That's the fun part about these. And that wrapped location 2. Time for location 3. We moved to our third location, and that was the one with the drum set. Eric, one of our editor's dad, is a drummer, but he didn't know the song. We thought it would be funny if he was the drummer in the first half of this song. So we just had him play random songs throughout, and it looked good. It sounded very chaotic. But once again, we ran through the song like 10 times. Personally, this was my favorite location. Not because of like lighting or anything, but the set itself was actually just a really fun, cool thing to look like. It looked like a basement band. This last location was graciously donated by our friends John, JC, Z, and Joey. And by graciously donated, I mean we kicked them out because they weren't allowed to know what was going on. Other than Z. Z was one of the editors, so he was kind of coordinating that whole thing. Most of it was done in the storage room because it looked like where you would kidnap somebody, and that's what we were going for. But in the basement still, but not in the storage room anymore. That's where we had a lot of more of the creative plan shots, and so that took a lot of time from us. After the intro, this opening shot of Bardlo kind of walking all drunkenly, it's called a snorri cam. Since we have no budget, we obviously couldn't afford an actual snorri cam rig, and also with the time crunch, we just wouldn't have been able to get it in on time. So what we did is we took a shitty tripod and had him clamp it with his elbows with 2 legs extended and the camera pointing directly at his face. and I think it worked really well. I wish I lowered the shutter speed on my camera so that it gave that more motion blur type thing to make him look like he's really drunk or high or wherever he is, just dazed and confused. Once again, another thing I can write down for later. I was actually in the back lowering the light's intensity because my light doesn't have like one of those wireless controls, because as he got closer, it was blowing out his face. So it was a whole production there. This shot probably took the most amount of time because there were so many moving parts and everything kind of had to go perfectly.
I don't know how well that worked.
But eventually, we got it nailed. The storage room was mainly planned shots, so it was really just mainly getting the story down, but we were always using the shot list as reference. Remember, a shot list is the minimum of what you should get. Don't let it limit you on what you actually want to get. Get creative, but use it as a failsafe. And here's the best part. We had to do all of that. Again, we wanted Bardlo to be in emo makeup for the second half. So we used more unpaid labor in the form of my lovely girlfriend to do Bardlo's makeup.
It's so scary, bro. It's like, it feels like you're going in on my eyeball.
And he was beautiful. We took inspiration from Ronnie Radke in The Drug in Me Is You. From there, we got pretty much all of the same shots in all of the same locations, but just in new makeup.
This is cinema.
Except for Eric's basement. In that one, we enlisted all of the characters throughout the video to become the band members. And they can't play the instruments either. It was just noise. We did not get done shooting until 11 p.m. And after a 13-hour day, you'd think you would be exhausted and go to bed, right? Wrong! I'm a psychopath. I have no morals.
Who do you think you are, I am?
Who do you think you are? I am!
Yeah, I got carried away and started editing immediately when I got home. Luckily, since I planned it all out and had a ton of A-roll footage, I was able to drag it all into Premiere and pretty much hit sync, and most of the work was done for me there. I started cutting between different angles because they were all synced up and got the essential shots out of the way. After that was shooting the story shots and what angles worked best. And at 3 a.m., I had a first draft. We also got up the next morning in order to shoot the intro and outro sequence. That one was really funny because nobody could take us seriously.
And cut.
We took a C-stand and screwed the camera onto a boom arm so that it would extend all the way out. The bed though was too long, so what we had to do is we had to record the whole thing upside down and then flip it in post. Eric just had to listen to me and hold the light. Once those shots were added and we did some tweaking, we had a finished video. February 17th, 2024. The premiere of the Final Lads video. We all got dressed up and held a red carpet event with 40 of our closest friends crammed into this basement, all huddling around this projector. The video was a hit. The song more than the actual music video itself, but I was proud nonetheless. It was so much of a hit actually that he's sitting at 5K views in almost 2 weeks, which is not a lot in music standards, but for Bardlo, those numbers are crazy. All in all, I wanted to make this video to show you guys that you don't need some big budget production in order to make a music video. It's not about the gear. Sure, it wasn't the highest quality thing in the world. And sure, it's not doing crazy numbers on YouTube or anything like that. But this was an experience that I'm going to remember and say, hey, remember when we made a music video? I'm gonna remember getting together, pitching this crazy idea, and actually making it. It's something that I can sit there and say, yeah, I did that. And that's what storytelling's about. We get so lost in ourselves thinking, oh, is this one gonna do numbers, or is this one gonna blow up, or how many subs am I gonna get off this video, or if I don't upload, I'm gonna lose subs, that we forget why we actually started this journey in the first place. We like to make things. We're creatives. And there's something to that that you just can't find anywhere else in the world. All you need is a camera, some inspiration, and in my case, a couple friends that would dedicate 16 hours to a weekend for you. I'll link the music video down in the description, but it would mean a lot to me if you would go and subscribe to Bardlo because he makes such good music, and it's crazy that he doesn't have more eyes on it. I didn't make any money on this project. I actually went negative because we had to pay for all of the props out of pocket. So go watch the video and share it around. It was a labor of love. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and drop a like or a comment or both, whatever you're feeling, but just let me know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.